Welcome into the first edition of BOA Battle of Alberta Banter. We have me, the host, who's going to remain impartial. I'm neither an Oilers fan nor a Flames fan in this context. Host Cam Lewis. We've got representing Calgary, Printzy, and we've got representing Edmonton, Wanye. And what we're going to do is after each Battle of Alberta playoff game, we're going to get all three of us in a Zoom call and we're going to hash out what the fuck just happened, because there's a lot to talk about. The Oilers just lost to the Flames 9-6 in the highest scoring Battle of Alberta playoff game of all time. That was insane, but also probably exactly what we thought was going to happen.
The show is loosely defined. Will it ever occur again? Will it just fold up at the end of this series and disappear like a black hole? You need to stop thinking so far ahead, Coom. You need to start thinking about the now like me. All I care about is puck drop, game 2. I don't even want to talk about game 1. Didn't even happen. I was busy. I was watching Netflix. I missed the whole thing, you see.
Well, unfortunately for Oilers fan, it did happen. The Oilers are now down 1-0 in the series to the Flames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get...
If you come back from a 4-goal lead, I don't think you're down 1-0. I think you're down like 0.75 of a game.
Yeah, in regards to taking a loss. So what I want to get from both sides here, and I'm going to let Printzy go first because he hasn't talked yet. I'm going to let Printzy just explain to me from a Flames fan perspective, what do you take from that game? Give me what were the good and what were the bad? What did you see from that?
Well, you take what I guess now today when we're recording now, Jack Adams nominated coach Daryl Sutter said in his post-game press conference, it's a win, move on to the next game. So I don't think the Flames were particularly pleased with their efforts. Obviously, it's great that they put up a 9 spot and they chased Smitty immediately, but you're letting in 6 goals against a team that has firepower like the Oilers. That's nothing really to go home about like that. So it was a win. You move on from it. There's good things that you take from the game, like the offense, but I don't think either team's defense was too pleased after those performances last night. So it's a win. Move on.
It sounds like you witnessed someone get murdered. You sound your team's up 1-0 in the series, and you sound like you're in a tremendous amount of pain.
Maybe he is. Maybe he knows what's to come. The wave of offense. It's about to sweep over you like a tsunami.
Yeah, if the Oilers get their goaltending, then that's a problem, man. That is a big problem. But on the flip side of it too, that's not the performance that you're going to get from Jacob Markstrom every single game this series.
Maybe it is against the Oilers. You have no earthly idea what he's going to do over a 7-game series. Maybe he always lets him.
Jacob Markstrom just allowed 6 goals on 28 shots. Mikko Koskinen, who came into the game in relief, allowed 5 on 37. And Mike Smith allowed the fewest of the 3 goalies. He only played 6 minutes.
That was a crazy stat you dropped, Printzy. I won't lie. I was reading through all your logic in our group chat.
Printzy gave me that note. Yeah, he fed me that note before.
Looking back on it though, would you have actually chased Smitty? I mean, it's hard because it was so quick.
I thought
he might have let in 9 goals on 6 shots. Who the hell knows? When that guy shows up, there's no end to the bloodbath.
I thought they should have put him back in, honestly, when Koskinen
that's what I was going to say.
To make it 7.
You can't be pulling your goalies and swapping them out like shoes. It doesn't work like that. You got to make a commitment.
We had FlamesNation Instagram live in the intermissions here, and all the fans were saying after the second period, yank Markstrom, and I didn't think that was a good move. I didn't, but it was, what was it? It was 6-5 going into the third, right? And then the Oilers scored right away to make it 6-6. And then of course everyone's messaging me, be like, we should have fucking pulled him. Like
the beginning of the Battle of Alberta is just a 9-6er where the goalies get pulled 3 different times. It's just a revolving door.
Both teams use the same e-bug. The e-bug plays for both teams.
Yeah, that's what Dan from OilersNation tweeted out. He's like, are the Flames gonna be using Markstrom for the rest of the series? So I fired back and I said, are the Oilers gonna be using an e-bug for the rest of the series? Come on, Dan.
Honestly, that's an easy alley-oop. Anyways, Wanya, give me Edmonton's perspective of that game. Do you feel good about it? Do you feel bad about it? What was good?
Well,
what was bad?
I'll put it this way: if that Mike Smith is going to show up, and that's fine. He always plays best when he's been like embarrassed and he's indignant and he's looking for revenge. Right. So the fact he got chased in game 1 in the long run is bad news for Calgary, not for Edmonton. Right. In my mind. But if that Mike Smith had to show up, I'm so glad it was game 1 he did it, not game 7. Right. Like if that had been the start of game 7 against the Kings, yikey. But if you can come back from a 4-goal lead and score that many on Markstrom, if I'm the Flames, I don't come out of the way with that with like a good feeling about how this is going to go.
No, I agree, man, and that's what everybody said in the post game press conferences too. Like that was not a good game. That was not a playoff game, right? Like it was, but the score doesn't indicate that was a playoff game.
It felt pretty much like there was no time in between that weird game in March. Remember that weird game? What was the final score of that one?
9-5.
That was 9-5.
It was 9-5. So yeah, it was right there. So the Flames
we're getting better, Printzy. This is 9-6.
You are getting better, man. 9-6, 9-5. Yeah. What
next
are we
time it's gonna be 9-7, and then
look out
9-8,
10-8
by game 3, 9-9. Then we're winning 10-9, 11-9, 12-9, and that's just the way it goes for the whole series. So the Flames have scored in 6 periods in a row, 3 goals per period, dating back to that game in March. Right. So if you're the Oilers, do you go back to Mike Smith or do you go to Koskinen, who looked like Swiss cheese in relief, as the Oilers were scoring goal after goal? Like,
go back to Smith. He had 2 shutouts in the first round. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's no doubt you're going with Mike Smith, right? Yeah. Like, no question at all. Like, he was hot. He had a bad first game, just like he did against
He bounces back when he does crazy shit.
Yeah, even
remember he went for the skate at the end of the game against the Kings, and he came back shutout.
So is that your bold prediction for game 2 or what?
Shutout? Oh, the Oilers will win this series. Make no mistake, right? Like on an off night, Markstrom carried you guys to the first round in my mind, right? Like he was very important in your win, in my mind. Game 1, you got lit up for 6, and we lost still. It's only going to get worse for you people.
You people. It feels like it also feels like the Flames scored more.
As the Prince is making saves himself. What's that?
It feels like the Flames scored more goals in that game 1 than they did in the entirety of the series against Dallas. I know that's not accurate, but it
off the top of my head, I think it was like 14 or 15 that they had in this entire season. Like 9. Yeah, right, I know.
There. All right. So next thing I want to talk about is what you saw from the other team. So, Printzy, what did you see from the Oilers you thought was good, and what did you see from them that you thought was just dog shit? Like, what about the Oilers really worries you now from that head-to-head?
Oh no, I don't want to talk like this. You go first, Prince.
How are you gonna get that?
Nothing worries us.
I'm drilling you guys for real good quotes here.
I mean, I'll go with the worry, and yes, I do have positive things to say about the Oilers, but
compliments.
I'll go with compliments.
Compliments about Edmonton in general.
Yeah, well, Edmonton,
I have nothing positive to say about any of you people. Nothing.
This is too good. What I would say with the Oilers is it's kind of the same worry about it with the Flames. If you're not getting the goaltending, you can put up 6-7 goals all you want. But if you're not going to get the goaltending from Smith, from Koskinen, if you're doing the rotating door of, okay, we're going to put in Smith and then he gets yanked, well, maybe we should put in Koskinen. That's a complete issue. So if the Oilers don't get the goaltending, it doesn't matter if McDavid puts up 5 goals a game if you're letting in 9 goals. But it's not sustainable for both Calgary and Edmonton to be letting in that many goals. I mean, the positive thing about the Oilers last night is they kept themselves composed, right? Like they were down 3-0, and I was at the Red Mile, the heart of the Red Mile last night, Trolley 5, and that place was just absolutely bumping. So I didn't quite get to hear what the crowd sounded like. So I'm sure after being up 3 goals, the crowd maybe got a little bit overwhelming. It's gonna happen the same way up in Edmonton too. So they stayed composed. They didn't panic. They kept playing. They dragged the Flames into the fight with some of these scrums and whatnot. I mean, some of the goals on Markstrom, they're hitting the guy in the shoulder, hitting him in the glove and going in. They're not all gonna go in that, right? So if the Oilers, I've heard that talking to a few guys within Oilers Nation, it's kind of the opposite thing where the Flames start out really, really well. They always start out really well. They come out hot and then they take their foot off the gas. Where Edmonton is the complete reverse, where they don't put their foot on the gas until they're down.
At least a minute into the game, down 3.
Exactly. At least 45 minutes into the game, down 2-0.
They kind of clashed, and that's the end result that we got. I actually was fortunate to meet up with Frank Saravelli yesterday in Calgary from Daily Faceoff. He came into Calgary, took me to the Saddle Dome, and what he had said is the Oilers, the Flames have an opportunity to make this a short series. If they're able to get some wins put together, they're the ones that can make this a short series. However, Frank bet on the Oilers and said,
"Really?
If the Flames don't make this a short series, you're going to get McDavid in game 6.
McDavid was at his best in the LA series, game 6 and 7. And it's hard to see him doing that for all 7 games. But if the Oilers are down something like 3-2 in a series, exactly. It's right there for the taking, then it's an opportunity for him to come up and have a legendary fucking Battle of Alberta moment and ruin Calgary's life.
So that was a legendary game 1. Like you can't come away from that feeling cheated 1 degree.
No, that was sick.
Good for Alberta. There was if you're gonna say there's a winner in last night's game,
it's the Florida of Canada.
Let's not call it the Calgary Flames. We'll say Alberta won that game just because of how good it was. And I'm sure things were packed up in Edmonton, and I was down on the Red Mile in Calgary, and it was good. Like, so Alberta won that game. We'll say that. So to completely finish, and we'll switch it off here. My worry would be if the Oilers, you don't get goaltending. I mean, it's probably been your story all year. You're fucked. If you don't get goaltending, you're screwed. But I like their composure, that they're not going to freak out and panic. You guys were down in Game 6 against the LA Kings, a team that, in my opinion, like that a playoff was that a playoff team? Were the Kings
Apparently.
a playoff team? Like apparently, like Vegas
they're
would
better
have
than
given
the
you guys more
Stars.
trouble.
Took us to 7.
Yeah, exactly. So you didn't get down and out against the Kings. You're not going to get down and out against Calgary. So that's what worries me about Edmonton from my perspective too.
Wanya, what makes you nervous about Calgary? What'd you see from them?
Nothing, man. Their arena, first of all, is a death trap, right? I'm amazed it doesn't just collapse mid-period. Oy, oy, oy.
You're worried that the ring's gonna collapse.
At some point, I looked at the shot clock of the scoreboard. The shots were like 38-16. The score was like 4-1. I was like, oh dear. Like, the Kings are very big. They're very fast. Stupid Milan Lucic just playing like the guy we threw a vault at, who then arrived in Edmonton, an entirely different person than what we purchased. He got changed in transport. You guys are big. You're stronger than us, no question. Right? There's more people on your team capable of dealing out punishment than on our team. But in my mind, even though you have that one line, what is it, like 306 points they got between them?
Yeah.
340.
What?
Yeah.
340
goal scores, 100 guys. Yeah. It's wild.
This is a 6 series.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not worried about shit.
So nothing worries you about this team at all.
No.
If you're going to offer the Flames a compliment after Game 1, just as like a nice.
Well, they're a good team, man. They are a very good team. Like, there's no question. You're a very good team, but you're gonna lose.
This is the best Flames team. This is the best Flames team I've seen in my life.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
Yeah, I also think it could be the best Oilers team I've seen in my life. I was born in 93. It's either this or the 06 team. I think this is better than
I think this is a far superior team to 06. 06 was the Cinderella Magic year, right?
I don't know.
There wasn't, with the exception of Pronger, there wasn't anybody on the lineup that suggested we're going to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Unless we come together like fucking Optimus Prime and assemble, right? Whereas now, with like Connor and Leon, I'm not like shocked this team is good. I was shocked when we weren't good, which was as recently as December.
Okay. When jerseys were getting thrown on the ice.
Well, some of them just flew off.
Just to flip that, what would you be your biggest criticism of the Flames so far, or just in general?
Well, they're terrible. They're from a horrible city, and I'm amazed that you people even find a way to procreate generation after generation, given how unattractive everybody is down there.
I saw a good tweet today, actually, and somebody said it's nice that the Battle of Alberta is finally not happening in downtown Ottawa.
Wow, that is spicy, picante.
I think that's a pretty good note for us to finish off on. One final thing, both of you guys, I want to get your perspectives on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you that your team is going to win this series?
10.
10 from 1, yeah.
Yeah, I would say about an 8. I mean,
we win. That's a difference of 2.
I'm not saying 10.
The others
have the best player
now.
You have the best player in the world, right? Like, the best player in the world can take over a game. Like, we've got an elite line of 3 players, but you have the best player in the world who can ultimately take over the game if he wants. He can single-handedly win games, right? But I mean, if he's gonna be, taking hits from Lucic and whatnot, maybe that might slow him down. You don't know.
You guys are a big, strong team with a great first line, but we're a team of destiny. You're just a bunch of non-player game players, or whatever it's called.
Created players.
Yeah, you guys are a speed bump en route to the 2022 Stanley Cup. Boom.
I will say, whatever team moves on, whether it's the Flames or the Oilers, you're going to be riding the ultimate confidence going into the final.
I wouldn't want to face whoever comes out.
You just took out your rival in Alberta. Yeah. Probably in 6 or 7. What I'm gonna go on a limb, say it's probably 7.
Oilers in 5, but sure.
Probably, fair enough. You're probably heading into Colorado. You're riding confident and high.
Yeah.
So the chances that an Alberta team is making the Stanley Cup final is great.
I agree, because I also feel like even though the Battle of Alberta is obviously going to wear both the teams down, I think that St. Louis Colorado series is going to be even more intense, and you don't come out of beating the St. Louis Blues with as big of a dick as you do beating the Flames or the Oilers in Game 7. That's like such a ride. And I 100% agree. I think whoever wins this is a cannonball to the final.
The dome was rocking too. Shout out to the Flames fans for real. Chanting "Let's go Flames" before the anthem to drown out the guy. Yeah. That was a boss play.
What's the weather like up in Edmonton? We had the Red Lot party, whatever, like our version of the Moss Pit. It got shut down because the winds here are so bad. It just about knocked the stage over. Yeah, like
It
so
blew over the arena.
like
Almost knocked
there's
the
like
Saddle Dome over.
it almost
Oh
knocked the
my
Saddle Dome
God.
over. Yeah,
It blew the saddle off the saddle though. No, it's not that
So,
windy
yeah.
up here.
Okay,
It's cold.
It's
And
cold.
Edmonton
It's really
summer's
windy.
-2, but it's not windy.
Yeah, so
It
they
is like
knocked
minus. It felt cold as hell last night.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a wrap on that. I guess we will be back in the morning after game 2. Game 2 is being played on Friday, so Saturday morning we'll be back in the mix with objective Oilers and Flames content. We're reasonable and nice to each other. We get the good takes. That's
Follow
what we
us on
got.
Twitter. We're good naturedly beefing with one another.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, we don't yell at each other and swear at each other at all.
No, we're reasonable. We're reasonable people. It's
Brady
very calm.
Kachuk in the stands. I'm so
Oh my
conflicted.
God,
before we
yeah.
end this, this is
Oh
my
yeah,
one
we
thing.
should talk about that.
We can
It
talk
is
about Brady.
impressive to me that you will let the captain of the Senators dance
I
and prance
know.
around your stands, drinking your Bud
wild.
Lights and high-fiving people.
It's funny.
The
but
Senators
also-
are like, "Hey, don't do that." He's like,
Is
"How
that-
would I demand
is
to
this-
trade then?" And they're like,
Is it
"Do whatever you want."
recruitment? Is it
But on the other
recruitment
side of that,
tactic?
at least Brady Kachuk is locked up for like 8 years, whereas Matt
The
Tkachuk's
Oilers
playing
should
free
get
agency.
Brady. The
We should get
Oilers
both
should
of them.
go and get Brady and throw the vault and get the draft picks and the whole damn thing and give him somebody of quality and just let the two Kachuk boys spear each other for the next 20 years.
I think Matt's gonna sign in Ottawa.
Yeah, that'd be a smart move by him to leave all of this to go to Ottawa, right? You know, where they get
Yeah,
what,
pick the battle
of The
$7,000
Corral
fans?
Center?
Yeah, the Corral Center.
Who wouldn't want to play the Corral Center? Corral 123 will never be usurped.
in small town Ontario, just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, why not?
Live in
That's
Canada, drive 4 hours to the game either way.
Might as
Yeah,
well.
that's Ottawa's enticing, that's for sure.
All right. Game 2. We'll be back shortly after.
I don't
that.
like you, but I respect you.
Best
Right
wishes.
back at you. I like you.
All right. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay.
That's a nice way
See you
to finish
game
up.
2.
That's clever.
See ya.
That's so nice.